It is May the 13th, 2023, and I'm here to do another session and tell you about one of the other influences in my life that occurred along the way, and that is about music. I've always loved music, and perhaps the start of loving music came from a little bit of knowledge about my dad, okay? And what happened with him was that he was orphaned at a very, very young age, probably around 5 years of age. His dad was fairly old, and I think he had, there was two mothers involved in that. But I first heard that when he was young, growing up on a farm north of Winnipegosis, Manitoba, and I'm in Manitoba too, by the way. What he would do as a young guy growing up, he loved playing the guitar. He would sing for people almost every evening. And although I didn't hear some of the songs that he was singing, I definitely heard about it from relatives that he was quite an entertaining person to just grab the guitar and sing. And so what happened also along the way was that I always loved music, and I'll tell you basically the kind of music that I liked to listen to, but I also wanted to learn how to play the guitar. Now I do remember my dad sitting on the back steps of our house, sitting with a guitar, playing a few songs, and I thought to myself, oh, you know what, this has got to be in the DNA somewhere. I'm going to learn how to play the guitar. Well, I tried. I took lessons in Brandon, Manitoba, trying to learn the guitar, and I just couldn't do it. So I kind of gave that up. But still, along the way, music has just influenced my whole life just immensely. And back when my parents were going to a Lutheran type church in Brandon, one of the songs that I loved to listen to was Onward Christian Soldiers. And I'd be kind of against the wall of one of the pews or whatever and just enjoying that song so much. And I still remember today, and that was several years back, listening to that song and enjoying it. And so I've got a list in front of me here. I was trying to record and write down some of the names of some of the artists that I've loved to listen to along the way. And I can think I'm just going to look at this list and give you a few examples. I won't run down my whole list because it's exhaustive, and I was almost needing room on the opposite page, okay? And so we've got people like Roy Rogers and Dale Evans, the Beatles, of course, Dolly Parton, Elvis, Linda Ronstadt, the Rankin Family, the Celtic Woman, Boney M, Celine Dion, Marty Robbins, ABBA, of course, okay, a favorite of mine being from Scandinavia, Olivia Newton-John, the Seekers, the Forrester Sisters, Roy Orbison, Glenn Campbell, Evie, Randy Travis, oh, and the list goes on and on. And so, like I said, I'm not going to, go over the whole list or whatever because they were special songs from each person. But I see Merle Haggard up here, Willie Nelson, Marty Robbins, the Gaithers, Don Williams, and so on. One of the, kind of singing types that my dad liked, he liked country western. So one of his famous fellows that he would listen to was Will Carter. And although I wasn't particularly an excitable fan about Will Carter, I liked some of the songs that he did sing. We did have occasion in Brandon, Manitoba at one point in time to go and see him personally. And that was a treat because here we have a known celebrity from the United States and known pretty much worldwide singing at one of the auditoriums in Brandon. And I just so excitedly went along with my dad and got to talk to him, and my dad got an autograph from him. And so, that was, very, very important too. And I knew some of these things were important to my dad, and so I just went along with him and enjoyed it all. My dad was very, very special, one of, my parents that gave me the highest influence. And after going through the Second World War and being on Juno Beach and in the Normandy invasion and things like that. He still seemed pretty relaxed about it all. He didn't tell me too much about it, other than some writings that he left me later on, which I'll talk about a little bit later in another episode, and show you the book that I've written pertaining to that. But when we talk about music, the kind of music that I like are some of the artists that you've heard. Probably my favorite type of music has always been like singing in church choirs and singing in churches and whatnot, and also in some of the teaching sessions that I was involved in, working in the schools in Manitoba for over 40 some years. I found that dealing with children with disabilities and even autism, music had a tendency to calm them right down and to kind of quiet their spirit inside and whatnot. So music is something very, very important to all of us. And in my kind of analysis of what has it all meant, what effect does this have on people, I can only kind of sum it up personally, from a personal basis, and say it is something that speaks to the very heart, it speaks to the very soul. And although when I look at some of the music that I did listen to, including, like the Beatles, and I remember when they first came on the scene and came on the Ed Sullivan Show in the 60s or whatever, I remember songs like She Loves You, She Loves You, and all of those resonated, okay, with me growing up. And I think to answer the question, like how is there meaning here, how is there depth here, or whatever, all I can say is this, that we're all human beings, and these songwriters and artists, what they have done, they have written songs that pertained to their experience and to their heart as well. So what resonated with them basically resonated with me too. And so I grabbed onto these songs just as it grabbed onto them. I would listen to them, I would enjoy them, and move on to another one or to a mixture, just loving music every step of the way. I still love music today, and like I said, I wasn't able to learn how to do anything on the guitar, but music resonates to the very heart and soul of basically all people. People seem to quieten down when they're having a quiet time, perhaps getting ready to go to sleep or spend some quiet time in whatever kind of mood or mode they're in. Music is often something that they play in the background, or maybe want to pick up a tune and start singing it themselves. And so that's the kind of music that I liked. I'm not really into jazz. I'm not really into rap music or heavy rock or anything like that. But that's not to say that people choose their own kind of music that they want to listen to, and that's the way it goes. And I'm just sharing you a little bit about my experience and things like that. I do have I've been writing books, and I've been writing in poetic form for many years. Got over 20 publications written already. Working on book number 22 right now. I used to have a website, but because of changes in the cost and pricing of websites, I only now operate this YouTube site, and hopefully my teaching and my things are going to be alive on this site for a long time. And it's under 8 Eagles Gather, of course, because that's what you're tuned into right now. And I will continue to post on that YouTube site in the various episodes that are coming along the way. And so yeah, music just kind of a part of my whole life, every step of the way, and still enjoying it to this day. My wife and I will sit and we'll say, well, remember this song, or remember that song, or remember way back, and we'll even have to sometimes look it up on Safari and say, okay, we remember a few words in this song and whatnot, and try to find out the artist who was singing that song. And so basically, I've spent 43 and a half years teaching in various schools and situations in Manitoba, and still doing teaching now. The hair is turning a little bit gray, and that's supposed to mean a little bit of wisdom for us, and definitely from a Christian basis. As we get older, we're supposed to be an influence to the generations that are following, and that's what we kind of try to do. Most of us, or all of us, should be in that category, and parents teaching their children, and then their children teaching their children, and so on, down through the years, down through the generations. So glad to be able to present this to you, and I'd simply say, enjoy music. There ought to be a song in your heart. One of the things I try to teach people as I talk to them about Christian values is to be reading your own Bible. My wife and I do that on a daily basis. Let music be a part of your daily listening too, and that also is with respect to a lot of Christian music as well, and then times of prayer, and we do that on a regular basis, basically every day, and so thank you very much for listening to this part. We'll call it music, and label it as that, okay, on YouTube. And as I said before, I've written some poems that have been turned into actual songs and whatnot, and kind of what generates kind of often up in my spirit, in my soul, is the idea of singing as well some of the things that I've written. And so one of the YouTube sites that a good Christian friend of mine in Brandon has posted on his site a couple of the songs that I've written, and he's turned them into excellent videos. And I'll give you the YouTube site, and here's what it is: Small FCV Productions, all written together with an S at the end of Productions. FCV Productions with an S at the end of Productions. So I'll say bye for now. This is an end to this presentation. It's all about music. Let music fill your heart. Let music fill your life, and be a joy. Let it be a joy to yourselves and to others as we tread along this pathway that is straight and narrow, up for greater things to come. Okay, bye-bye for now.